Hello, welcome to Young Martin's Reels. Today we're going to be doing this Zebco PS3000, and I'm going to have the input in there from Tommy, so I don't have to explain it too much. But what I understand is that the 2020 and the FX35 and the PS3000 are practically the same reels. The only difference is, for the most part, is going to be the spinner head. It's got a different material on it and a different shape of the brake that's in it. This Zebco 2030 right here has got a problem. And it's still usable this way, but there used to be a brake assembly made out of this material that was glued on right here, and or formed on, and it has disintegrated with the time. And I'm going to be fixing that. I'm not sure what I'm going to fix it with yet. There's several different options. My dad used to fix them with a piece of wood. I think I'm going to use something more rubberized so it acts more like the original braking system. But basically, if you're working on a PS3000, you're working on a 2030, you're working on an FX35, they're all basically the same. So I'm only going to create one video that deals with all of them all at the same time. And this one here is not the one I'm fixing today. I'm fixing the PS3000, which we're going to send on to Tommy when it gets done. And Tommy, here's your reel. We're going to start off by taking off the front cover. All right. Now, this one's got a nice rubber piece. See, this one looks really nice. I understand that the FX has got a piece that looks, let's see if I can find one here. Yeah, here's an FX25. It's not the same as, but it's built the same way. I understand that the FX35 has this end piece looks more like this. All right, but aside from that, everything else is going to be the same. This is an FX25. It's a smaller reel, but it's built the same way. So we're going to take this cover, spinner head off, and then we're going to remove this clip. C-clip. We're going to remove the metal drag washer. Then we're going to remove the Teflon drag washer. Then we can take the spool off. And okay, this one's dry. That's good. And here we have another Teflon drag washer that meets up against the spool. And then the metal drag washer. And underneath that is your drag plate. We've got all that off. Now we're going to go ahead and remove this nut off of the handle. At that point, we're going to slide the body out like this. That brings us to this point. And I'm going to loosen this slightly. As this turns, if you watch right here, you're going to see the C-clip turning. There's the opening for the C-clip. Well, you want to take that opening and you want to put it to the bottom, like that. And then we're going to take a screwdriver and gently lift that C-clip up out of there. With that done, we can now unscrew the drag all the way off. Slide it out like so. Now this drag wheel I put on here yesterday. This one, the one that was on here, somebody had dropped the reel and broken one of these legs off of it. And so I took this one out of a 2030 that was broken, and it was corroded so bad that we couldn't use. So we took that one out of that and put it in here. I wanted to make sure it was going to fit, and it did, and it works fine. All right, take out the axle shaft. Now we're going to take out the main gear or crankshaft, and there's your drag assembly. That's all the parts removed. We're going to clean these parts up and get it ready to put back together. If you think it looks like I cheated the system a little bit, I did. I kind of cleaned these parts up yesterday. I didn't clean this axle shaft up as well as it needs to be done, but I do believe I cleaned everything else up. There is our anti-reverse dog, our Pawl. So at this point, we're ready to reassemble. We're going to start off by putting in the drag handle. That's going to fit through here. Let's add a little grease to it. This part, this is your lever. This is going to be pushing on your drag. It's going to slide in here from the bottom. You can put it in from the top, either way. Then you slide this in, drop it into place, and start to screw it in. Okay, once you get it screwed far enough, and it seats up against the frame right here, you've got it far enough that you can insert your E-clip. Now put your clip in place in this slot right here. Get it up here where you can see it better. Get it into that clip or in the slot and push it down. Lock it in place. All right, now that's locked in. It can't go anywhere. Now, if you tried to back this out, it's only going to go so far and it's going to stop. Same thing about going the opposite direction. It will only go so far. Like so, and stop. Now, you may notice you can service this without having to take it completely apart. If you look right here, when you back this out, let's say you had this whole thing put together now. Well, we'll come back to it in just a second. Let's go ahead and put your Pawl in. All right, here's our Pawl assembly. We're going to put it in with the large end to the rear. It goes into this little hole right here. That's its pivot point. Then we're going to take the main gear assembly. We're going to lubricate it with oil so it spins easily. Now, you see this piece right here? That piece has got to fit into that notch right there on the anti-reverse pawl. So when you slide this in, make sure that that piece fits into that notch. There, like so. And you can verify that you have it correct, because if you do, you can turn it this way, but you won't be able to turn it the other way. That's your anti-reverse pawl. That's got that locked in. Now, what I wanted to show you is, let's say you have all this together and you really didn't want to take it completely apart to service it. What you can do is you can grease this part right here. You can just put grease on the threads and back it back. But see this hole right here? That hole will allow you to put oil down that axle shaft without having to take and pull it all apart. All right? So that's an oil port. And that way you wouldn't have to take it completely apart. If it's a reasonably clean reel, like this one pretty much was at this point, you don't have to completely disassemble it in order to service it. You can take it mostly apart or partially apart, service and lube those parts, and leave it alone. There's no reason to have to take things completely apart. I'm just showing you how to do it in the event that you had to. Say it was full of sand or something, or dirt from grime from sitting too long. All right, there we go. Now at this point, if you want to hold everything together so nothing can slide, let's go ahead and put the handle on. Put your nut on. Verify that everything's turning freely. All right. Now, we're going to grease up your main gear. And make sure when you had this off that you inspected that gear, the pinion gear and the main gear, and verified that there's no teeth missing, no chewed up teeth, nothing like that. And then just make sure that you have enough grease. You don't want big globs of grease everywhere. Just enough grease that the gears, when they mesh, have grease in between. Okay? I can actually take a little bit more of this grease back out of here. It doesn't need all that in there. There we go. All right, that's smooth. It's smooth as glass. All right, now this wheel, at this point, before we go starting to put things in, we want to make sure that it's turned counterclockwise as far as it will go. Don't over torque it, but go ahead and put it clockwise or counterclockwise as far as it will go. If you look right here, that's going to cause that to move in and out. And as that moves in and out, it's going to move this bar right here. Let me show you how to put this in. See this clip, right, this little tooth, little winglet here, little tab? That's going to go into that little hole right there. So slip that into that little hole, like so, and now that goes down. Now, if you watch, as I turn this back clockwise, that part moves over, and as it does, it lifts this drag bar. So you want to have that drag plate all the way down. So you want this all the way counterclockwise for assembling this. Once that's done, we're going to install the drag washer, the first one. And these drag washers are Teflon, so they're self-lubricated. They shouldn't need any oil. If you want to oil or grease them, you can. If you do, I recommend you use drag washer grease. Tommy, I'm not going to put any on yours. I think they're fine like they are. They're nice and clean. All your parts are smooth, so I'm not going to put any on there. You can go back if you wish to and put some on. Okay, put that on. Now, if you notice, see the little indentions right here? Those are going to ride right there on that clicker, and that's your drag click. And I just messed it up. Pull this back off. I didn't hold the axle shaft in place so that this anti-reverse could go. Now, if you watch my fail videos that I put out this morning, there was a reel that I did that someone had lost this. And the reason they had lost it might have been just like that. They put it in and it fell out and then they didn't notice it. All right. Now we've got to get that piece back into that slot. Just like we did before. There we go. There. And put the axle assembly back in. All right, this time I'm going to hold that in place so that it can't fall out while I get the rest of this back in. Okay. Let's come back here, put our drag washer on. Oh, hang on. When I did all that, okay, that's still there. Okay, it's still all the way down. There. That wasn't fitting all the way down. Then goes the drag washer. Now the drag washer is going to fit into those slots. See the little slots on there? When I took this off yesterday, those were not down in there. They were not in the slots, and the whole thing had shifted over to the side. So make sure that those tabs fit down in there. Once they do, slide your E-clip in, then verify that those are all still in their tab holes. If they are, you should be good to go. All right. Slide this back in the housing. Well, before we do, let's make sure to put just a little bit of grease right here on that button at the back. Then slide this back in. For some reason, doesn't want to go in. There. Now everything snaps into place. Once that's done, we're going to take this front spinner head, put it back on. I had that handle on once before. We're going to put it back on now. There we go. Now when we hold this down into the housing and push the button, this should come up and stay up, and this spinner index should go in. There we go. And I want to show you, we're going to go ahead and take it back off for a second. I went ahead and I lubricated all this. This pivot point here got oil, and this base where it slides on the metal, it got grease. Okay, push it, head goes up, pin goes in, rotate it, and it comes back out. Let's put this in. All right, line comes out easily. Line's back in easily, the pin's engaging. All right, let's go ahead and tighten down the handle. Like so. Tommy, I'm gonna take that handle off and send it to you without the handle on it. I'm gonna have it in the bag so it doesn't get bent on the way. Anti-reverse works. All right. There you have the Zebco PS3000, which is essentially the same as the Zebco 2020 and the FX35. So I hope you have found this informative. I'm going to be doing my next video. Oh, sorry, it's not FX, it's FT for Feather Touch. The FT is for Feather Touch. And sorry, I forgot that. And if you like this video, please hit the like button. Let me explain a little bit of something to you. Why I want you to hit the like button. Do I expect this channel to ever get to the point where I'm getting, where I've got 1,000 subscribers and I'm getting paid for doing videos? No, I don't expect that at all. What I am hoping for is that the more often that you hit the like button, the more it looks like people are enjoying my channel, and the more they will recommend this channel to others who are not currently subscribed to it. So if you hit the subscribe button, you're helping me out there by helping get this out there to other people. Aside from that, it's not really doing me any good. Am I ever going to make any money on YouTube? No, I am not. That's not going to happen. But I do make these videos as a hobby and as a tribute to my dad. So if you would please hit the like button, I'd appreciate it. If you wish to see more videos like this and you're not currently subscribed, by all means, subscribe to my channel. For now, that's Rick Stivers with YoungMartin'sReels, signing out.